What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are back with F1 2018 career mode once again. This is round number 18 for the US Grand Prix. Not too sure where we stand at the moment with the way that our car is, where my fluency with the game kind of stands as well. It's a little bit shaky, a little bit up in the air, so I don't really know what's going to happen as we get into this round of the championship. USA is one where I tend to struggle a little bit in the past, but hopefully we can make a change if possible. We're in the Mercedes now. I mean, we're not a front-running team by any stretch of the imagination. Lewis has been doing well for himself in patches throughout this season, but he's still been no match for the Saubers, and as of late, the Renaults, which seem to be on another level compared to us. But coming into this weekend, feeling pretty positive. We did okay in practice. I wasn't a million miles off, so that was kind of nice, I suppose. But we're now in practice 2, I think, doing the qualifying pace program, and this is always the big test as to whether you're going to have a good weekend or not. And you can see we're just about teetering on the bubble of being able to beat our time or not. You can see we're now 2/10 down as we exit that really slow left-hand hairpin. Really struggled for traction through there. And that's not only an issue that I had in career mode, it was also an area of the circuit that I tended to struggle as well in league racing. So, I don't know, I think I need to just get more practice in. Still not quite used to the game. I know I keep throwing that around, but just gotta kind of explain what's going on with me, I suppose. But that was our session. I believe we head out for practice 3. And the game didn't even take control for like the first 10 seconds or however long it was. So I was completely caught off guard, thrown into the wall, had no time to repair the front wing and get out there again for another lap. And that was practice 3. Nice preparation. On to quali.
It's time for today's qualifying session to begin here in the United States. Welcome to the Circuit of the Americas.
With that out of the way, let's see what we can do in qualifying now. We're going to turn the engine up to 11. We have also got a new power unit in the car. I noticed that the very first ICE that was in the car, or in our allocation, had not even been touched throughout the whole of the entire season, and it was on 0%. I couldn't believe that. You would have thought that the first ICE would be burnt to the ground with how much mileage it would have done, but no, it hadn't even been touched. So we're chucking it in now for this race weekend, and we'll see what we can do with it. It is a little bit of a tricky situation with our components. The Mercedes team has favored not to use too many components over the course of its season, and as such, we're kind of out of parts now. We had that spare ICE, but apart from that, we don't have anything else to play with in terms of our engine components, and we still have another 3 races left to go after this one. So I have a feeling that we might be taking a penalty or 2, depending on the components. They might just about stretch to the end. It depends on their reliability. I need to monitor that. But anyway, we're not here to talk about reliability. This is qualifying, trying to go as fast as we bloody well can. And speaking of, we're not really doing that too well at the moment. P16 at the moment. A lot of ground left to make up. We're 4/10 up as we go through the final couple of corners here in Q1. This should be good enough for a spot into Q2. A really bad exit there of the final corner. Thankfully, the finish line is just after the exit, and we just about make it through to the next session. I thought we would have breezed through, given how much we were up by on our final lap. Turns out I feel it isn't as close as what I thought it was. Compared to where I was previously. 2.1 seconds off the pace, just squeezing through into the next session. Lewis, not a good lap from him either. He's still 1.4 seconds away from the pace setting Saubers and Renaults. So, at this rate, I don't want to go back to Williams. I feel like Mercedes will be enough of a challenge as it is heading into next season. There will be a reset in terms of the regulations, which will definitely shuffle the order around. Whether it'll be a benefit or a hindrance to Mercedes into next season remains to be seen. But this is our one and only lap in Q2. We only have 1 spare set of fresh tyres available. We come across the line and we get Oh no, 12th place. It's not good enough, is it, in a Mercedes? It must be said. We've beaten Lewis Hamilton, though. However, he's on the super soft tyres. That must be reiterated. We beat him by a 10th and a half, but we did have one step softer compounded tyres than him. Interesting. That was an amazing lap as well. I don't think I could have improved on that lap, so pace is not good.
Bad luck in qualifying. That's not exactly ideal. But there's no points for Saturday. Keep a cool head and make up for it in the race.
What fantastic enthusiasm we have for Formula One here in the United States of America. And it's an enthusiasm born from generations of memorable Grand Prix racing. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Mr. Monaco. That was a great podium in the last race. So can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
It's a steep incline into turn 1 that'll help you scrub speed off. There are multiple lines, so be sure to make use of them.
It's a steep incline into turn 1, and it's a steep incline into the top 5. Welcome, guys, to the US Grand Prix. We're sitting on the grid now. Looks like no improvements to our track position, unfortunately, but it's not the end of the world. We came from a long way back in the last race in Japan, I believe it is, and we managed to score a podium. Who knows what's in store for us today? We're going for a different strategy, super softs to the ultras, using the 2 softer compounds available for us. Hopefully, it's the right direction to go in. 5 red lights and away we go for this US Grand Prix. Looks like a pretty bad start. Sainz getting off to a flyer, just wheel spin in the shift up from 2nd to 3rd gear. But now, let's see if we can make up a bit of that ground as we head into turn 1. Thankfully, no contact. We slide at the inside of Perez. No, we don't. He gets us back. Run into turn 2. We're going to have a more flowing run, possibly better straight line speed. I don't know what was going on there for Perez. Maybe his engine modes weren't flicked up to 11 like mine were, or he wasn't using as much battery. But either way, it allows us to slide back into the points. P10. Next up is his teammate Esteban Ocon. We've got Ericsson there in P8, so he'll be one to watch as well as he cuts his way through the field. As is always the case, hang on, up the inside of Ocon. Kind of getting trapped behind Ericsson, who wasn't really going anywhere in the braking zone, and we take his place. As is always the case when we don't make it through to the final part of qualifying, you tend to see a more realistic grid as you would see in real life, and some of the car performances don't exactly translate into track position for the final part. But we got the inside of Ericsson there. He got caught up behind Alonso. Weird saying that. Fernando Alonso still in the F1 game. Better make the most of this while we still can, because he's not coming back, that's for sure. We've got Ericsson coming back up the inside into turn 1 after we just about managed to steal his position. He gives us the big squeeze through turn 1, and well, I'd say that was pretty fair treatment, to be honest. I gave him the big squeeze with an ultimate corner, and he gives me one straight back. It's nice to see that the AI are getting a little bit punchy, but it's coming at my expense, it seems. Ocon, or is it Perez? It's Ocon fighting away with me here in the middle sector. Not really sure what's going on here. I seem to be making one step forward and then it's another step back. Not really sure where the pace is at the moment. We are on the super soft tyres, so we are fighting with cars that are, you know, a little bit faster than us, but I think that the most telling thing is the tyres. They're on the ultras and we're on the supers, so there's probably about half a second's worth of difference there. But as the stint wears on, we should be getting stronger and stronger as these guys start to fall away a little bit. But Ocon gets us back. I can't exactly put my finger on where we're losing this performance. We just seem to be lacking a little bit kind of everywhere. Maybe a little bit of engine power. Probably a little bit of aerodynamics, but we just seem to be getting past in a straight line a lot, it seems. Here goes Perez up the inside into turn 1. So we made some huge progression in the opening few laps, and now we're just going backwards, it seems. It's really allowing the guys in front of us to get away. Sainz is now on the back of us. I don't know how he's ended up this far back, but now he overtakes us, and we'll just have to settle in and hopefully stay with him if we can. We're getting towards the end of this first stint now. These guys' tyres should be and I say should be dying away right now, but it looks like if anything we're losing pace versus these guys. Something I've been noticing as well over the last couple of laps is my rear tyres have been steadily increasing in terms of rear temperatures, and it's just starting to make it a little bit uncomfortable when it comes to pushing the car. I seem to be struggling a lot through those fast S's, and then that really long triple or quadruple right-hander in the third sector. The back end just seems to be disconnecting from me a little bit, and that's knocking my confidence around a little bit. But with that said, pace is still not quite there, is it? Perez goes up the inside, gives us, I don't even know if he was accelerating there. He was going ridiculously slow in an effort to overtake us. But he gets us anyway. I'm complaining to Jeff about all these idiots not being very nice to me. Perez pits on the next lap, and, well, that makes that battle kind of futile, doesn't it? Anyway, lap 8, lap 9 actually. The engineer is telling me about how great my overtakes have been. I don't think I've moved forward a single place since the second or third lap, and now we're just going backwards, it seems. We're on the super soft tyres. The super soft tyres. And our pace is worse than the people on the Ultras. Let that sink in. Our tyres are already dying. I would love to know what's going on right now. 105 degrees the left rear and the right rear tyre was. So it's just outside of the working range, and I've just got nothing to fight with, it seems. It's really weird because Codemasters recently made a patch which made the tyre temps a little bit more bearable. This is PC, which again shouldn't be an issue for temps. And I'm only running with like 8 ballast and 2 6 wings, so not a crazy setup at all in the grand scheme of F1 game setup. So I must be driving really, really badly to be contributing to the tyre temps. Nice, boys. Yeah, but yeah, you can just see how much we're struggling. I'm trying to do what I can to minimize the effects on the rear tires. So a couple of things you can do is increase the front brake bias, which I think I've just done. I've increased it to 58%. We've got Hulkenberg going up the inside. Thank you for that.
Line that front wing. It'll need replacement.
So I'm going to have to come into the pits and fix that up at the end of this lap. I might even come in early now anyway, now that that's happened. I've lost the front wing. And we'll put on the soft compound tyres because this just is not working on the supers. They're just massively overheating. We need to get off these tyres, get on the harder compound, and hope that these don't struggle so much with tyre temps. So fingers crossed we can cure this ailment that we have at the moment. So a couple of things I was doing was increasing the front brake bias. So I was putting less energy into the rear tyres. That didn't exactly work. Another thing you can do is change the differential. So moving it higher makes the car a little bit more understeery, especially at high speed, which is where we were struggling. That still didn't really fix it. So the last thing I did in an effort to cure the tyre temps was lower the front wing. So we went from 2 6 wings to 1 6. And hopefully with all those changes and also the new change of tyres, it should mean that we don't struggle for tyre temps for the rest of this race. I have found in league racing that the harder tyre compound you have, the less strain you'll have on the rear tyres in theory. So that tends to work. Hopefully it's not an issue for us. We do have to do a lot of laps on these soft compound tyres to get to the end of the race now. So we'll see how we go. We got a 3-second time penalty not long after the fresh change of tyres. We have been banging in a few personal best laps, absolutely smashing some of the previous ones we had on the supers. So that tells me already that we're absolutely flying on these tyres, and the supers just did not agree with me for whatever reason. But anyway, yellow flag up ahead. We've got Esteban Ocon who's slowing. He's held up Sirotkin in the process, and I don't know if I actually overtook these guys legally or not. Nothing's come up on screen, so I'm just going to press on. Okay, I'm going to press on. It's P14 for us. Esteban Ocon is out of the Grand Prix. We might see a safety car possibly.
The virtual safety car
Yes, we do. VSC has been deployed. Unfortunately, didn't really affect our race. I really would have liked a full course caution after all the time we lost on overheated tyres, after changing the front wing, after the contact with Hulkenberg. We've lost a lot of touch. Yeah, we've lost touch, shall I say, with the guys in the points, and now it's going to be a real struggle to try and chase these guys down. We've got 6 laps to go, make that 5 as we cross the line for lap 23 Lewis Hamilton is a good 6 seconds off the road. So we've got a lot of work to do. 6.7 seconds now. We actually caught him by 1/10 of a second on that last lap, and I thought, hey, why not? Let's just absolutely go for broke, see if we can catch him. We've got nothing to lose now. We're not going to get in the points if we just cruise around at the back here, just bringing it home. So we're going to push on. You can see there's a big old train of cars involving Lewis Hamilton. So if we can catch up to these guys, if there's a crash or if they just battle, we might be a chance of getting some points here today. But it must be said, we'd have to be very lucky to do so. It looks like Hulkenberg is the guy who is holding up this train. Maybe he's got some damage or some kind of problem. Could have stemmed from the contact with me, and maybe he's finally getting those bits of karma. I'm not too sure, but we've got 2 laps left to go in this race. I've been closing in these guys massively now ever since they were catching up to Hulkenberg. I was already catching them anyway, but since they caught Hulkenberg, they then started to lose like 2 seconds a lap, and now we find ourselves... Team radio?
This is your final lap of the race.
Yeah, thank you, engineer. I didn't need a team radio to realize it was the last lap of the Grand Prix. The gap is literally a second or two, and this is our last chance to get involved in this battle. Lewis Hamilton is up next. Really, we're not going to score points at this rate, not unless they all crash out in front of us, but it's still handy to, I don't know, try and push, get these guys on track for pride, and I guess have bragging rights in the media pen after the race. We'll see what we can do. We've got enough fuel to make it to the end. The battery is probably going to be the telling thing, if anything. Leclerc sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix and wins the race. With that, probably the championship. I rushed that corner there onto the back straight. I really wanted to get on there as quickly as I can to maybe get DRS, but it looks like I just lost a little bit of time there. So, man, this is going to come right down to the wire. You can see 2 cars up ahead going really slowly. It's Hulkenberg and Van Dorn, I believe, just battling away. Hamilton is looking for a way past if he can, but he just can't seem to find that avenue. We're getting to the 3rd sector now. Hamilton going really slowly up ahead. I almost got past him there. This is literally going to come down to the last corner, I would say. See if we can get a nice run through here, the penultimate one. Maybe track extend to Narnia and back. We get a bad exit. Maybe up the inside into the last corner, but no. It's looking like Hamilton will hold on, and it's going to be a lowly P14.
I can't say that I'm happy with how today went, but I'm sure you gave it your best. Better luck next time.
And so the celebrations begin, and well earned they are indeed. It may have looked simple at times, but as any racing driver will tell you, competing at this level, at the very top, is anything but simple. There's no catching them now then. We have a new World Drivers' Champion.
Oh! Yes! Yes! First time I'm happy about the job I do. Yeah, great race. Bravo, bravo, bravissimo.
So there it is then. It's been coming for the longest time. Charles Leclerc wins the championship following the glorious season that we had with Sauber this time last season. I actually think it was the US Grand Prix that we won the championship at as well. So happy hunting ground, it seems, for Alfa Romeo Sauber. For us, 1 year later, what do I say? Like, just kind of nowhere at this point, it seems, but we are fighting towards redemption. This time next season, hopefully it'll be us. Not sure which team it'll be in, but I want to make sure that we topple Sauber once and for all for the end of F1 2018 career mode. Not a great day, and that goes across the other side of the garage as well. I don't know what happened to Lewis. He should not have been P13 or whatever he was on merits. Even way better than that. So we need to have a good hard look at ourselves, spend some resource points accordingly, make this car better, because right now we're just nowhere.
What on earth was that performance? Come on, this isn't bumper cars at the fairground. Your results and conduct here matter, so pay more attention. We can't afford too many races like that. So the team are happy that you hit your last goal. That's going to help out with car development, and it'll weigh in your favor the next time we have a contract review.
Okay. Is the team happy or unhappy? Because I just got conflicting messages there. Anyway, here's where we stand on the research and development tree. We've got a few things to prioritize, to kind of amend before the regulations take effect. This is what we stand to lose if we don't amend these before the end of the season. We've got a couple of engine power upgrades. We've got ERS cooling, which will make it more efficient. And we also have fuel consumption. I'm not really bothered about fuel consumption, to be honest. I want to work on the engine upgrades. Try and consolidate those so we don't lose them heading into next season. Then ERS, and then we might look at fuel consumption if we have time, to be honest. We've got a rear downforce upgrade in the works. That'll be going on the car in time for the next race, the Mexican Grand Prix. And boy, I tell you, do we need that. I think that might have actually contributed to our struggles on the rear tires. Because basically, we have one extra front downforce upgrade than what we do on the rear. So there's a bit of a imbalance with the levels of downforce we have at the moment, where we're lacking one major rear downforce upgrade, and that's probably just playing on the balance of the car right now. So I did my best on the run to try and fix that. That never even cropped up over the course of practice or qualifying. The tire temps were fine, but we really did get exposed over our long run pace on the supers. So really just put pain to our race and put us in a position where we shouldn't have been in, getting dive bombed from Hulkenberg. We'll learn, we'll get better, we'll adapt, we'll fix up some issues with the car, and we'll be better hopefully next time out for the Mexican Grand Prix. 2 upgrades going on, hopefully they don't fail, and we can get some momentum back before the season ends. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next one, I'll see you next time.